Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us. Dependence. This isn't a word we, as people, tend to be very fond of. As we walk throughout our lives, we want to be self-reliant. We want to be able to get through our lives, to be able to accomplish things and do things ourselves, and not need the help of other people. It's kind of a natural feeling we have. We want to know, to have the confidence that we have the strength and the ability to get through our lives on our own. We don't want to be dependent on other people. We want to be independent. But this isn't where God has called us. This is not the life God has called us to live. John chapter 15 verses 5 and 6 say this: I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. I want to look closely at what Jesus is saying here. Is he telling us that it's good to be independent? Is he telling us, stick through it, fight through it, use your own strength, be independent? Not at all. He's hardly saying that. He's saying the complete opposite. According to our Lord, if we try to live independently, if we try to live apart from him without abiding in him and relying on his strength, we can do nothing. How does that sound? If you ask me, I really don't like the sound of being able to do nothing. That's not a very good thought. But Jesus didn't just stop there. Not only are we powerless without relying on Jesus, but we are also condemned. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers. And that branch is thrown into the fire and burned. So how does independence sound now? If it means powerlessness and condemnation, I don't want to be independent. Now to clarify, Jesus isn't saying here that if we don't follow him perfectly, and if we don't abide in him perfectly, we will be condemned. No, on the other hand, he's talking about those who don't even try to pursue him, that don't try to rely on him. But for those of us that are following Jesus, for those of us that are trying to abide in him, this should remind us that God did not create us to be independent. This should remind us of our reliance on him. He created us to live with him and to live dependent of him to get through our lives. This is a great way that we can check our own hearts. Look at our own hearts. How much are we really abiding in Jesus? How much are we really relying on his strength? Or are we trying to fight him and do it ourselves? So independence from God is not a good thing. And it is a good thing to be reminded of how desperately we need our Creator. Because when we come to him in need, when we recognize our need and then we approach him, he will provide. Revelation 21 verse 6. And he said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give from the spring of the water of life without payment. This is our Lord's promise to provide for us when we need him. But look at this. Look closely at this. This provision here, this thing he's promising, isn't given to everyone. Who gets it? Who gets to drink from the spring of the water of life? To the thirsty. And therein lies the importance of the knowledge of our dependence on Jesus. If we know that we need him, if we know that we can do nothing apart from him, we will be thirsty for him. And if we come before our Lord with a true thirst, He will provide living water. So make sure in your own heart that you have a healthy understanding of your dependence on God. And whenever you draw to Him, remember your need and come to Jesus thirsty. Thank you for watching, and God bless.